I didn't realize how much I really liked trees until we moved out here. And I've had a growing appreciation for trees since we've moved here. And yesterday I was walking through and I saw this one. It's a red maple. Right in the middle of all these pines and oaks, there's this one lone red maple tree. And it's beautiful. And I was going around before and putting white marks next to all the baby oaks. I mean, all of these are, that one's maybe 3 feet tall, 2 feet tall, all various size. I was marking them just to make sure that I didn't do anything that would wreck them in any way. Because you take a tree like this oak here, and that thing's probably 60 feet tall at least that high. It's maybe been there 100 years and could be there another 100 or 200 years more. I mean, long past, my lifespan when I'll be here, that tree will still be there. This one's probably a good 20 feet tall. There's 2, 3 of them in here, all these oaks. And I had started walking around and I was marking them, and there's just hundreds. Like, I counted 100, like, really quickly, of oaks that are, under maybe 2 feet tall. So there's a ton of new growth out here, and it's just beautiful the way everything, the life cycle of all this, because you have all these trees like this one that just died and fell over, and then you got this one right here next to it, this oak growing right there. It looks like this tree branch on the dead tree is kind of choking it out a little bit. So I'm going to take the chainsaw and just cut the branch, because you can see the tree trying to grow up in between there, and you can see it's getting kind of like mangled and pushed back because of this branch. So I'm going to cut that branch off and see if I can free this tree. So I got to set you down for a minute because I don't have a tripod. All right, sorry I had to set you down on that and you missed this, but cut the branch off of that. Set that right there and freed that tree up. It still looks like it's got stuff choking it out. But this one's been around for a few years at least. 1, 2, 3. They grow like 1 to 2 feet a year, so this one's probably, 2 years old maybe. But we'll free it up so that it can grow without with all these dead trees around it dragging it down. But this is the kind of stuff that I do out here on a regular basis. Is I've just gotten to a point that I want to just make this look so beautiful out here. And the DNR has a program where you can buy trees from them, and they give you a pretty good price on them. I mean, they're super cheap. I don't know if we'll get them. You have to like put in, and hopefully there's some available for you. But we're gonna try and get some, and then they deliver them next spring, and you just plant them. But they're so cheap, they're almost free. But this area, I had put this measuring stick out here on this one. That one was 8 inches, that baby pine there. And this baby pine doesn't look like he's gonna make it, but he's about the same size as that last one. But there's a bunch of pine in here in this area. Like these ones are probably, there's an oak and a pine right next to each other there. These are probably just this year. That one's been there for a couple years. That one with the pink flag next to it there. You got the oak tree right there. And then this pine, this one's like, got to be 3.5, 4 feet tall. That one's doing pretty good. But this whole area, there's in like this area is like about 10 by maybe 30. And just right across on the other side of the trail, there's good new growth there. I mean, that one pine back there is, that thing's got to be over 6 feet tall. This one's about 4 feet tall. This one's probably 5 or more. And this one's over 6 feet tall. It's taller than me. But there's that nice oak right there next to behind the pines, behind that dead branch. That one's like, that's got to be over 6 feet tall. And there's just a bunch, like, I don't know. These I marked, and I'm going to just check next year. Right now, it's when I marked it, anyway, it was 26 inches tall. That was on September 11th. It was 26 inches tall. And then I also marked this one, which was 40 inches tall. And that was the same day. I just want to see like how much they grow in 1 year. But if you walk around through here, there's a new baby oak. There's a new baby oak. That one's probably on its 2nd year, right back there. That one's on its probably 2nd year. That one, 2nd year. Some of these already have oak wilt, which nobody can really tell you exactly what oak wilt is or does, or well, you know what it does, but like what it is or how you get it. Some of these are under 2 feet tall and they already have it. So some people say it's some bug crawls on them or some kind of beetle or something, but I don't know. When the baby ones are getting it, like you can just see like, well, this one's got the one branch is going, but that one looks a little better than some of the other ones. But I saw that one, I saw that red maple, and there aren't maples out here as far as I know, but maybe I just don't really know what they look like, and so I haven't, spotted them. I mean, obviously you think of the Canadian flag leaf. So if I was to look and find one that had a Canadian flag leaf, I could, I would know it was a maple. That one I didn't want to walk back in there, the red maple, or that is a red maple according to Google. I didn't want to walk back in there because there's a lot of poison ivy between the trail and where that tree was. But see this one, I think that one's got oak wilt. I'm not positive, but I think that one's got oak wilt. And that one's probably like 2 years old, or this is its 2nd year. But there's one large tree, one of the larger trees that we have, or that I've found. There's so much that we haven't explored out here because it's just thick. I mean, if you look at like all that brush there, I'll go up to this stuff is super thick, and unless you take the weed whip and clear it, you're not walking through that. I mean, you could, I don't want to, but come winter, when it doesn't have all the leaves and stuff on it, then I can walk through there and we can explore back further and just see what else is here, because we have good trails all along the western side and the very northern part, and a little bit into the interior, a little below all that, but for the most part, I mean, there's huge areas that we haven't even explored. Like back here, this area, that oak, I can cut through right here. This oak is one of the bigger ones that I've found. You can't wrap your arms around that. I measured it. I put a string around it, and I measured, and it's 9 feet around. I mean, that thing's been here for, I mean, I wouldn't doubt if that thing's been here for 150 or 200 years. And when you just think of that how long that's been here, and the fact that no one, there's a big pine straight back there too. That's got a huge base on it. That when it gets closer to, well, it's winter, well, it's fall, I guess, but it's basically winter already. But I'll be able to go check that tree out. But this is the biggest one I've found so far. I don't know how tall that is, but it's got to be 70 feet tall. And like I said, I measured it. The circumference around it is 9 feet. I don't know what that means the diameter is or whatever. But there's a lot of really just nice trees. And I didn't realize how much I appreciated trees. And when we get hopefully we get the DNR trees, when we get those, I'm going to clear out a lot of these shrubby areas. You know, like this is completely unnecessary. Clear out these shrubby areas and plant trees in here. We got this one area back here. I don't know what this stuff is. I'm going to have to look it up. But it's super thick. Oh, almost tripped. It's super thick. And I don't know what it is, but this whole area almost looks like somebody cleared it and planted that stuff in there, because it's kind of odd that there's no trees in there. Unless someone cleared it, you know, to make, I don't know if it's something that the deer like, that some deer hunter did, you know, way back. But I was hoping these trees would look, I have a time-lapse camera set on this area. It's right on that tree right there. But I have a time-lapse camera set on this because it's open and you can kind of, I thought maybe some of those trees in the back. I didn't want an area that had a lot of pine trees, but I was hoping to get good color shots for, of the fall changing scenery and stuff. The leaves changing, and you can see that dead tree. There's so many dead trees too, but I'm trying to get the time lapse. I started it mid-August, and I'm going to let it run, you know, till maybe November or whenever the trees are completely done, and then I'll post a video of the time lapse. Hopefully gets good colors back here. But I had, when we first started living out here, I would see all these dead trees and I would just think, you know, these trees are just dying, you know, they're just dying everywhere. If you look, I mean, well, maybe not back in this area. Up in the other part where we first started, there's dead trees everywhere. There's entire areas that all the trees in the area are dead, and it's just like broken off half trees, you know, standing there. And it bothered me at first, and then I started noticing all the new growth, and I realized that's just the life cycle. That's just, you know, what happens. And then it didn't bother me as much, and then I realized I'm just going to plant more trees, because we cleared out a huge area for where our house is going to go, where the RV is right now, and most of the trees we took out of there were little, you know, skinny, smaller than this even. They were smaller than this tree, and this tree is actually decent size. That area, they were mostly like little skinny things. But we had to take out a couple good sized ones that that I didn't want out, but you can't have them right up next to your house either. So like this area right here, you can just see all the dead trees. It's like this whole area is like a dead zone. And these red flags are where you can see that red flag right there has got a baby pine next to it. And so you can see baby oaks growing there. Baby oak right there. There's baby oaks, and up back over there, there's baby oaks. But like this tree is dead. That tree's dead. That tree's dead. That's a half tree. That's a half tree. That's a half tree. There's another dead one right there. I mean, this whole area is pretty much dead. But then you got like this oak. Doesn't look very good right now. There's a couple of them here actually. This big oak here that's probably a couple years old, 2, 3 at the most. You got this baby pine back here that's probably in its first year-ish. Oh, this might be another one I need to rescue. This one, yeah, this baby pine back here. I don't know if you can see that, but this, I got to take this branch off too. I'm going to do that as soon as I'm done with this video, just to, you can see that this is the top of the tree, and then the bottom's here, and it's kind of growing through this dead branch. So I got to take that off. You got this baby oak growing right there. So this area I always walked through, I mean, you could just see, it looks like a dead zone. It just looks like a dead zone. I always thought this was like a dead zone. Oh, there's some big oak back there too. That oak straight ahead, right there, that one's probably, that's got to be like 6 feet tall. And this other one right there, that one's, that's a good 4 feet tall. And then that other one right there too, that one's probably a good, that might be 6 feet tall too. Not as pretty looking as some of the other ones, but there's a bunch of oak, fresh oak growing back here. And that huge tree behind them all right there, that thing's huge. But this area, I always looked at it and was like, it's just a dead zone. I mean, it's everything. You walk and you look at it, and everything in here is dead. Everything. I mean, there's dead stuff on the ground. You can see that tree like fell. And it's just all just like this dead zone. But if you look closer, you just see all this new, that's just a shrub. You see all this new growth, and it's just, you realize it's just part of the life cycle of, trees. And a lot of these, like this pine, I mean, I don't know what kind of pine that is. Jack pine, maybe red pine. That thing's like at least 70 feet tall. That thing's probably been there 100 years or more. Although those grow about 2 feet a year. That one, maybe it's sitting at 50 feet. Nonetheless, it's older than a lot of people are. If you got trees out here that are older than you are, and then you think about it, when you're gone, they'll be here another 100 years. But anyway, I just thought I'd do a video on that because I saw that red maple that was just in the middle of everywhere that's just green, or some of the leaves are starting to change, are brown and falling off. And I saw that tree and I thought I'd do a video on trees. If you move out to a place like this, you realize things that you never really thought about living in the city. Like, I never thought about trees. We had a small lot and it had 13 trees on it, and all it really was there was a ton of leaves every fall. I mean, I didn't really think about the trees. I couldn't even tell you what kind of trees they were. We lived there a long time and I couldn't tell you what trees there were. They were whatever ones. Some of them were the ones that get those spinners on them. I'm not sure what kind of trees those are, but some of them got spinners, and I only know that because my neighbor used to complain that the spinners would land in her yard. But anyway, you can see, again, this is like another dead zone area where the stuff is dying, but there's new stuff growing up. And then now walking around, I could probably count 200 oaks that are, within 3 years old, without putting much now that I know what to look for, I can spot them everywhere. but it's beautiful. And I've gained a strong appreciation for the life cycle of a tree. If you like this kind of stuff, hit that like button. Consider subscribing. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. And I'll catch you on the next one.